Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking a look at the Super Boss 15-star event versus Straw Hat Pirates for the Pirate Alliance Kazuna Clash for the 5+ X Drake. And in today's video, I have two teams that I'll probably be looking at utilizing initially for Super Boss. Now, remember, with Super Boss, it is very endgame centric. We're talking about big damage here. We're using very exclusive characters, so if you don't see some of these units, post down below what you guys are looking for replacements for, and not only myself or other people in the community might get to you, but if they don't, do apologize for that. But at the same time, like, this particular game mode is one, very competitive, and two, very centric around having some of these higher echelon characters. Now, we are including some of the characters from the worldwide celebration in today's video. I did put out some Gear 5 teams as well, so make sure to go check out them if you guys are struggling with some of these new characters. But this is the character here that we will be 5+ing. Very odd that this particular X-Drake is coming now. It didn't come for New Year's. Seems to work perfectly with Roger and Odin, but hey, look, we move, right? So this is the character we're filing for. He does seem like a pretty interesting character. He's probably going to be very, very good for the next couple of months with the boosted meta. And ideally, I would keep a 5-star and a 5+ for your account, just so you have more boosted units at your disposal. So, let's go down, let's take a look at the Super Boss tab, and let's see what we are working with. Starting off with the Dex variation. Now, they really want you to use Burgess and Blackbeard and those types of characters for this particular quest, because it's just centric around the worldwide celebration. Fighter, Striker, Driven, and Powerhouse get all the good stuff, and Quick Orbs have a chance down. So, you don't get a lot of quick orbs, but all those characters get all the good stuff. On stage 2, there's 3 enemies, 2 Land of Wano officials at 75,000 HP each, and then obviously your main boss, which is going to give you 7 turns of bind after sockets, all orbs turn to block, normal attacks only, damage reduction, and attack down. After 1 turn, you get despaired, lose your beneficial effects, all orbs get turned to super bomb, and then retreat. Plus, the enemies in the back are also going to retreat with 5 turns of special reverse before they leave. On stage 3, you come up against Zora Sanji, who is immune to delay and any type of poison. Otherwise, you can basically do whatever you want to him. And they have immune to the percent damage and the blow away stuff. And if you go above a 4.6 chain boundary or chain multiplier, so if you use anything that goes higher than that, you are going to lose 50% of your attack. Now, I don't know how Burgess works, because it does state in his captain ability that if you are below a certain chain, he can remove it. However, I'm hoping it's the same thing, and he actually just removes it with his captain ability, whether it's below or above. But you also get normal attacks only, full body recovery orbs. Recovery gets turned to damage. The enemy turns to a Dex super type, 6 turns of defense up, and 1 turn of a 30-hit barrier, as well as a intimidation for 2 turns for your attack and your orb boosts, which is very, very annoying to deal with unless you're using Burgess and Blackbeard. On Interrupt, if you remove the barrier, you lose all your beneficial effects, 5 turns of special reverse, and your specials get locked. So, very, very annoying stuff. You pretty much don't want to remove this barrier, because if you do, you are going to take these very, very nasty effects. So, it does obviously scream Blackbeard. So, we're going to be using Blackbeard as our captain. That way we can just bypass all of those nasty mechanics, and then we're going to be using Burgess as our friend captain. Now, don't ask me how this happened, but look, we are here. Burgess is on the accounts. I'll do some showcase and stuff later, but Burgess is going to be our friend captain. And the reason Burgess is going to be our friend captain is because on stage 2, we can use his special to completely remove attack down, give us a full board of strength slots, and give us 3 turns of an attack boost, because the enemy will have damage reduction. No, the enemy will not have the damage reduction status. So that's actually going to be a huge problem that I've definitely overlooked. The enemy only has... No, the enemy does. 6 turns of damage. It's 6. No worries. I'm thinking of the 10 star. So Burgess is going to give us 3 turns of an attack boost, and he's going to remove the attack down on stage 2. Plus, he's going to give us a full board of strength orbs. Now, we really want to keep those strength orbs for the final stage. So this Otama works exceptionally well, because we get 7 turns of bind on Big Mom. She not only removes 2 turns of them, but she also locks our orbs. With that, we can use the special of Van Ogre to remove the rest of the bind. And with this particular special, you can also apply a weakening effect on the final stage, plus you apply some resistance down with the strength resistance as well, which is really, really nice. So on stage 2, you pretty much covered there. You can actually use the King special as well if you really want to. That way you actually get 3 turns of color affinity. You do need to hit 3 perfect, so the 3 enemies is absolutely perfect. And then we can move on to the final stage. Now, on the final stage, we're going to use Big Mom for a double conditional boost. We have the carryover effect of Burgess so that way we actually keep all of our attack boosts. Big Mom's going to be our double conditional, and then we can use Blackbeard to actually give us 3 turns of an attack buff, as well as the increased damage taken. Plus, if you use his super typing, he's going to apply the damage reduction that we need to guarantee us the 2.25. He also removes the defense up, which is really, really nice, and he goes through barriers, which is awesome. I just realized too, we actually get a full board of recovery orbs, so that could be an actual problem. Actually, no, it's not going to be a problem because we don't, like, Blackbeard will actually use them to our favor. So that actually works out really, really nicely. So you actually don't need this Otama support. You can basically use, oh yeah, this is actually better. We can use this Otama support now, like this, and then we can use Lafitte to get around that. Because we get the recovery orbs in the final stage, Blackbeard's still going to give us the 3 turns of his orb boosting fun stuff. The intimidation to bring it down to 1, and then Bob's your uncle. He'll also give himself a tandem orb as well, which is great. So that way you can get access to his super tandem ability if you have him Rainbow. Now remember, if you have your own Burgess, you can use Burgess as your captain, bring a friend captain Blackbeard, so that way you can get the super tandem maxed out. Ideally, it's much for muchness. But I'm also considering utilizing Burgess on the crew and using Kaido as a friend captain. Now, Kaido's here as our conditional boost to increase damage taken. And the reason that he works so well is because he also has a rush ability. So if you have a level 5 rush, you're going to do a lot more damage as well. But if Burgess doesn't work in the way where you tap as a captain, then Kaido is going to be our friend captain, and we're just going to test out some damage there. King is going to be our color affinity booster. He's 3 turns for driven characters, plus he is a driven slasher. He works out really, really nicely. And he is another character that goes into Kaido's rush ability. Now, we don't have a shooter on this team, so we're not getting the 5.75 times multiplier from Blackbeard. But look, it is what it is. Unfortunately, there was just sort of no way of including that because the team is so fine-tuned into bringing 2 Blackbeard pirates and 2 Kaido pirates to satisfy the conditions of Super Tandem Blackbeard as well as Rush Kaido. So that's the team that I'm going to rock out first. I do have some ideas with Gear 5, which you guys saw in the other video. That might do more damage, but it really all just depends on that 4.6 multiplier and what that looks like. But for this team, we're only cracking the 3 times chain echelons. However, we do have an attack boost, we have an orb boost, we have color affinity, we have increased damage taken, double conditional boosts, weakening effects. Like, we have a lot going for us with this particular team, and we have a rush, super tandem, and a final tap. So, it'd be interesting to see the damage numbers if I can find a final tap level 5 Burgess. Not that I think anyone has one, but look, we might get lucky, we might find something for a particular showcase. But taking a look at the next super boss now, going up against Strength, there is a little chopper friend for this particular fight. Cerebral, Free Spirit, Fighters, and Slashers, I believe, get all the good stuff. No, Driven. Slasher, Free Spirit, Driven, Cerebral get all the good stuff. On stage 2, there's 2 turns of Special Reverse, Lock special turns for 2 good hits, full board of Paralysis Orbs, 5 turns of Special Limit for 2 times, and then an immunity to allow you to use an attack boost, base attack boost, and a chain addition for 99 turns, which means you cannot use these particular buffs. The enemy will just completely remove them. There is an interrupt if you use damage reduction effects as well. So you can't use any specials that will give you a damage reduction, because if you do, it basically just reduces the effect. It just completely sets it to 0. So you pretty much are shoehorned into using supports at that particular point. On defeat, there is 150,000 damage. So as you can see, that ability to lose your damage reduction effects is kind of nasty, because you are taking 150,000. So find a support that'll work there, because you're definitely going to need it. After 1 turn, there is 7 turns of Despair, 200,000 damage, 50,000 burn, and then 1.1 chain multiplicative. On Battle 3, there's 2 enemies. Like I said, there's a HP of Chopper at 1, and then there's Zoro Sanji. They both have full immunity and immune to the % damage and blowaway effects. There's 4 turns of Despair after Sockets. You lose your beneficial effects. There is 1 turn, there's normal attacks only for 1 damage. The enemy turns into a super strength, lock target, 6 turns of defense up, and an intimidation to losing 1 times of your color affinity. So if you use a 3 times color affinity, it becomes a 2 times. 2 turns of a 10 hit barrier, and then if you remove the enemy's defense up, the enemy will apply 6 turns of damage reduction. Once you defeat, I believe, Chopper, the enemy is going to put up 5 turns of threshold, and then enrage. So they're going to be attacking double damage every single turn. So very, very annoying stuff. So as you can see, like there's a lot that you have to deal with this particular quest. And they kind of really want you to use like Blackbeard and Cross Guild and have a lot of HP and do all that fun shenaniganry stuff there. But we're not actually using any of those characters. We are using the New Year's Legends. Now, our friend captain is going to be Roger and Odin. Now, if you guys have Roger and Odin at a higher, a higher rush ability than your Yamato, then you can swap these captains around. If you don't have Yamato, bring a friend captain Yamato. If you do have Rodin, bring Rodin, vice versa. But this is going to be our captain, our friend captain, sorry, and then we are using Yamato as ours. Now, the idea of using Rodin as captain is he removes the despair, and he can avoid the blow away of positive effects when we move into the final stage. It's a very, very strong ability, and we saw why V1 Roger ruled the roost for so long. This particular Nami and Robin are so good because you can use them on turn 1 to avoid the enemy applying the immunity debuff. So use this on turn 1. You won't have to worry about that. You can use your attack boost, you can use your base attack boost, and you can use your chain boost. Plus, they can use the VV support, which means you're getting a little bit more damage on the final stage. On stage 2, we are going to use the Super Swap and the Super EX of Yamato. That is going to put us into the quick variation of Yamato. And then we can actually give everyone 2 turns of cooldown to get around that really annoying shenaniganry. Once we've done that, we can use her special, and that's going to give color affinity for 1 turn, and then because our captain's Slasher, we can actually utilize Kinemon to extend it, and that way we don't have to worry about the intimidation, which works really, really nicely. It's a very, very good character for that. Should work like an absolute trait. He also removes paralysis too, but we are using the Mistum support to tank the damage, which will also rotate the paralysis orbs. If I might do some testing as well with Yamato and like trying to get her double special activation off. I don't know if I will get enough cooldowns and stuff like that. But if I can, I'll try and do some shenanigans there. But the upside to Kinemon as well is Kinemon goes into both Zoro Sanji Super Tandem, goes into the EX of Roger and Odin, and goes into Yamato as well. Plus, his special gives the extra 10% to the final tap, which means Yamato is going to hit very, very hard. On the final stage, we're going to blow away the positive effects thanks to Roger and Odin. We should be able to tank that damage with the 75%. And then we have Cross Guild. Cross Guild are here for 2 reasons. Obviously, they're a boosted unit and they're a slasher, but they also have the limit break ability that reduces limit special by 3 turns. Now, this is the perfect amount for getting past stage 2, because you get 5 turns. You only use 2 specials on stage 2, so you're absolutely fine there. They remove the other 3, so when you move into the final stage, it just gets removed in time so you can use all your specials. Utilizing Cross Guild is going to apply the set target. It's a free 2 times damage, and it's going to work really, really nicely. We're getting all of our cooldowns back thanks to Yamato and her dual form. Roger and Odin are going to be your attack boost and your orb boost. You're going to have the carryover of Yamato from the previous turn, and then you can super swap with Zoro Sanji and use the Zoro Sanji to increase Roger and Odin's attack and orb boost. Not only that, but you'll also be able to use Roger and Odin to give yourself Wano orbs, or not Wano orbs, but the base stat boost for your right hand column, which is going to work really, really nicely. So make sure you've just like put your units in the right spots, maybe doing something like this. No, like this might be the smartest move. So that way Roger and Odin's not giving everyone Wano. Because remember, with the super tandem of Zoro and Sanji, 5 top row characters will get Wano slots, and then the right hand column gets 2,000 base stats. Yeah, sweet. So you still have tandem mobs, enough tandem mobs to actually get the super tandem Zoro Sanji. For this particular team, you don't even need a max Zoro Sanji super tandem, because you have 3 other units that are going into it as well. And then obviously Yamato is the one that is going to be hitting the hardest, because she needs to be part of Zoro and Sanji's super tandem. So just be mindful of that. But depending on what level your Zoro Sanji is, depending on how you have to tap. With this team, you have a rush, you have a super tandem, you have a final tap, you have a bunch of shenanigans going for you, and you have a lot of buffs. You have an attack buff, you have chain boosts, you have orb buff, color affinity, increased damage taken, set target. You basically have everything, really, besides conditional boosts. And conditional boosts was really the only thing that I couldn't fit on this particular team, but as we saw last Super Boss, we could still almost hit a trillion damage without it, and just sort of carbon copying the team and bringing something like Cross Guild instead for the extra 2 times damage instead of a chain boundary just seemed to work the best for this particular team build. So the idea is to use Nami and Robin to start off the chain, move into Roger and Odin to hit off a rush, go into the cross-skilled unit, and then finish it off with the Super Tandem of Zorosanji, finally tapping with Yamato for her final tap. Hopefully you guys did some summons on New Year's and you picked up these units, because they are going to be very, very good once again for Super Boss. But that's going to wrap up the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.